Hello, it's Fellonius the Wizard. I'm going to jap about something completely different this time, or not. Goldwatch. When I say that, most of us, well, at least in the western part of the world, knows exactly what that means. Goldwatch, that's 25 years for the same company, and you're still going. Okay, let's start from the beginning. Every day, or more or less every day that I go to work, I pass a house. This house used to belong to an acquaintance of mine, and I still refer to it as Johan's house. It's Johan's house because he owned it. And it feels like he should still own it, because that will be easier for me, right? Again, my brain started to move around, and I was thinking, hello, come on. People are allowed to move. There are reasons because they're moving about. And that got me thinking about these good old days. Let's save for that one. Let's go back to my days when I was a young guy. First of all, back then, back in the 60s, it was more or less, I'm not going to say it was a rule, but it was standard that Ma and Pa, they are keeping together. Just like their Ma and Pa always keep together, because their Ma and Pa, in their turn, also stayed together. There was no talk about divorcing or anything like that. And that was something that was put up as a standard. When I was 10 years of age, you just kept on going in your relation. If you were married, you kept on being married. And that's not a Protestantine. It's a Protestantian way of doing, actually. It's a Catholic. Why can't I say that? You know what I mean. It's not a religious thing anymore. That's the part. But that was the rule. When I looked around, my friends, the few I had, was actually having both their mom and dad at the same place at the same time. All of them, didn't they? Well, that was I suspect at least. The same goes with work. Back then, it was industrial work, many of them, but you kept your work because you had it. You were good at it, so why should you change? There was no need for it. And then there was this gold watch at the end of 25 years of work for the same company. And you did that. That was standard. Now, my dad, on the other hand, because of reasons we don't have to go into, he was jumping from one employer to another, but he was still driving his truck. That was the only thing that he was good at, so he kept on doing the same thing. And then it was if you had bought a house. At least that's what I was thinking. If you bought a house, you stayed in it, you raised your kids in it, and you stayed in it after retirement as well. Because when you retired, you don't had any rent, you didn't have to pay more than, well, the electricity, the water, the garbage man, and then you had no more things to pay. The house was paid. That was something that you did. And when you died, your kids inherited, and one of your kids would probably take over the house, raise his own family in it, and so on and so forth. And it stayed in the family for quite some time. Those three things meant security, a very simple but still effective security. You had your thing, you knew what you had. Let's jump 50 years ahead till today, and I know as an historian would say 50 years is nothing, it's just a millimeter in time. But for me, 50 years is most of my life. So to me, it's a big step. Sorry, CPM. Nowadays, well, first off, I know just one figure that I know of. Almost 50% of all adult males are single. They are not married, they are not having any girlfriends or anything, or boyfriends if they are that way. They don't have anyone. They are singles, almost 50%. And if you look around, divorce it seems to be rule. It's standard. You get together, you love each other a couple of years, you make the kids, you raise your family, and when the family and the kids are around 15 years of age, you divorce and start living your own life. Now, I'm talking about Sweden here, so please do not try. I'm not trying to say that this is the same in Germany, India, or America. I'm not saying this is how I look at it in a Swedish perspective. And it's okay. That's the fun part. It's okay. It's standard to separate the divorce when you're 40, 45. That's how you do it, because you have time left to do stuff. Work. Well, first of all, work isn't work anymore. We are not standing on industrial spaces and do stuff monotonously. You are moving about, you're creative, you're searching for new ideas, adventures, and probably you are more driven, experienced, and probably also going classes and studies and stuff because you want to be better, because you want to make more money. And that means that puts you into another company and another company and so on. You're changing more jobs than ever. And that is how it is today. And if you're unemployed, you just want to get on a train somewhere and start doing all that. And that's how it is. And then houses. Well, if you're going to divorce and you know it, this house is not going to be the one you stay the whole life in. And the same goes if you are going to change jobs. You're going to be working perhaps 20 miles away from where you live now. You don't want to commute. Then you move. You just pack your things up and buy a new house. And there are even people, at least in Sweden, that buys their house for 1 million crowns. And suddenly they realized, it's worth 1.9. We have a very strange house things going on in Sweden at the moment. Suddenly it's worth 1.9 million crowns. I will better sell it. We never know when we're going to get that money again. Yeah, it's a bubble. Believe me, it's a house bubble it's going to burst sooner or later, and everybody tells you that it's going to burst. But until then, we keep on trading houses. And that's not security, is it? But still, people are enjoying themselves. They are living their lives. And I'm not really sure. I'm not on the train. I don't want to stay on my work forever. I'm not going to have any relations. And I'm never, ever going to own a house, ever. So, for me, I'm totally outside. And I see that the security you had 50 years ago in those 3 areas is actually have to be coming from somewhere else. And all I can hope for is that it come from within. If you're a powerful person by yourself, then you're going to be safe. You don't have to worry. Or at least that's what I'm hoping. Bye.